Hey guys and girls, Poketinking here, back with another video. Today is going to be a Pokemon themed video, but it works for all card games in general. But specifically, I'm going to be talking about Pokemon. So right now, if you haven't been living under a rock, you'd notice that the Japanese market is absolutely booming. Not just on the Pokemon 151 set, which boxes are exceeding $200 now, but with the Japanese waifus, with the tag team stuff, and there are a lot of opportunities right now when you look at that. So this is a subject that I talked about in the podcast, and I felt like it deserved its own video. I usually just stick to Flesh and Blood and Magic the Gathering content, but right now I kind of felt that this was a video that needed to be made for those that not only collect Pokemon, but for those that maybe want to sort of invest in something that they think is going to do well, short, medium, and long term. So, Pokemon. Right now we're seeing these massive booms in the Japanese market, and a lot of people are feeling like, I can't keep up with it. And that's absolutely natural. The prices that we're seeing is absolutely ridiculous. It won't last forever for a lot of it. There will be some retraces, but this is just the hype and the popular right now. There are trends in every card game and in every market, and this is the trend right now. So what you should be doing is probably not be buying into this trend. Definitely don't buy when things are going up. I would suggest if you've got some of these items, I would sell right now. Maybe keep some of it back for yourself. If it's something that you want to collect, then keep some of it. But I would recommend sending some of it into the hype. I always try to buy low and sell high, and that's pretty much used universally across any market. You'll always hear that, buy low, sell high. And that's because a lot of people don't do that. They see something going up and they think, well, I need to jump on this trend, because they feel like it's going to keep going up. It's a constant going up, but it's not. That's not how that works, If you're buying, it's a race to the top, essentially. If you're buying and think, well, I'll buy before the peak, or I'll buy before the peak, and eventually you've bought at the peak and then it drops. The same reason why people, when they sell, they're selling when things are going down. It's a race to the bottom. They're trying to sell before it gets to the bottom. And another thing as well is trying to judge the bottom. That's very hard. No one can do it. If I say Charizard UPC, for instance, which I've mentioned before on the channel about buying, I think it's a really good investment. There's a wide range of packs. You've got free Charizard promos. The box looks nice sealed. It's a great Sword and Shield product. Now we're moving into the Scarlet and Violet. We're coming up to the third set now, and we're going to be moving away from that Sword and Shield era. You're going to see these products a lot less in the stores. A lot of the later stuff, it's been printed quite a lot, but this Charizard UPC is a product that kind of goes through over all of it. And now we've got this Mew product. We've got the Mew UPC for the Pokemon 151 set. That is kind of similar, and I think a lot of people are going to go back to the Charizard one to keep them sealed. Prices dropped on this UPC. The hype was mad when it first came out. It was very hard to find a box. I managed to nab one at retail, but it was very hard to buy them at the time. And a lot of people were buying them to open them and keep sealed. Maybe they're willing to flip in the future. And now we're looking at prices, and they're around about £85 to £90 a box. And they could go cheaper with discounts. Chaos cards, for instance, you get vouchers and stuff like that, and you get cash back. I know there's an eBay sale right now within the UK, so that could be a good option. I think you get 20% off collectibles. So if you can find a store selling it for, £100 or maybe a little bit less, you could get a really good discount now with that 20% off. But that's one product specifically. Something that I've noticed the prices have started to drop down on is Scarlet and Violet. The first two sets, the boxes can be found readily available at £85 to £90. Again, with that 20% eBay discount in the UK. I know TCG Player and eBay have similar things in the US, where you get cash back, or you get extra points, or you can get a percentage off things. They happen a lot more than it does happen in the UK. This is very rare for something like this to be happening. But when you're seeing things like that, they're boxes that I've been buying. Some of the ETBs during the Sword and Shield era as well. Some of them can be found for £25 to £30. I'd recommend it. You get 8 packs. You get nice sleeves, and the sleeves always sell well. I always put the sleeves up on my eBay, and I get at least £3, £4, £5 for them, depending on the set. The Silver Tempest ones with the Alolan Vulpix, they tend to sell for a little bit more. I know the Evolving Sky ones, but you won't be able to buy those for £25 to £30 anymore. But there's a couple of things definitely to be buying right now. Don't buy what's hyped right now. And if you want to not talk about English sealed modern, for instance, maybe collect vintage. Gold Stars, EXs, you know, WotC Hollows, they've all had a massive retrace right now. And you could find some absolute bargains right now, whether it's sealed or singles, especially the PSA 10 and 9, Japanese and English. I've seen a lot of these prices come way back from what they were. You know, the highs of 2020, everything had a retrace, and now people are starting to sell a lot of their, you know, vintage as it's classed, I suppose. I wouldn't necessarily call it vintage because it's only 25 years old. But I would say this old school Pokemon products, you know, sealed, a lot of people are selling them because they want to invest in this new Japanese trend that's going. You know, a lot of people are buying Japanese boxes. I know people that were buying them before the hype and before the trend, and they're going to do very well. But the people that are buying them at 150, £200 a box, hoping they're going to go up to 1,000 in 12 months, most sets probably aren't going to do that, you know. Let's be honest. The holiday sets always seem to do very well long term. Don't get me wrong, they do very well. And a lot of the Sun and Moon sets have gone absolutely mental recently. But there's so many opportunities right now to be had, whether you're collecting, buying, you know, maybe you want to finish off some binder sets and you want to get singles from Sword and Shield. The prices are probably going to be never going to be lower than they are now, let's be honest. If you can find someone that's trying to sell bulk of them as well, it's worth doing. Chaos Cards do really good sales. Just check websites, see what sales are for these modern sealed products. A lot of these collection boxes and tins have packs in, like Evolving Skies, that you not necessarily know about. I know there's a couple of tins specifically that have Evolving Skies in, and they're still at retail price right now. And some of them have 2 Evolving Skies packs in, and that pretty much pays the tin itself. I think there's so many opportunities, and people seem to be focusing on the negative of, you know, I can't afford this, or this is getting too much, rather than taking themselves out of the situation and going, right, what can I do with this money instead? What can I buy? What can I collect? What can I invest? You know, and I know this video is probably going to be more aimed at people that want to invest, whether you're collecting Pokemon or other TCGs. You know, you might be looking at parking your money. Vintage Magic the Gathering, that doesn't seem to be very popular right now. A lot of people are selling up on that. I've noticed a lot of people just generally are moving away from the older stuff because they're seeing these massive rises in modern stuff. You know, with Magic the Gathering, you're seeing all these serialized cards and people want to jump on that, especially the Lord of the Rings set. So I think there's definitely good opportunities here. Let's be honest. Wizard of the Coast stuff, base set, you know, Fossil, Jungle, Team Rocket, the Gym Series, E-Series, they're going to be popular in 10, 15 years' time, right? You know, they might not be as... The thing to remember as well is these products are nostalgic. Let's be honest. The value of it is rarity and nostalgia, because a lot of these unlimited boxes, you can find unlimited some of these Wizard of the Coast boxes a lot easier than you can do some of the modern boxes, because they were printed to oblivion. But nostalgia has kind of kept their prices, you know, and the hype obviously is what made them rise ridiculous. But a lot of these boxes could be found for less than £1,000 before 2019. So it's only that hype that kind of skyrocketed them up to the levels that they got to. But they are nostalgic. Now, you look at Sword and Shield, XY, Scarlet Violet, the kids that are collecting now, or even the adults that are cracking packs, they're going to be nostalgic about these sets in 10 to 15 years' time. The same way that you're nostalgic about these Wizard of the Coast sets. So it is relative. That is something that people don't consider sometimes. I'm not saying that, you know, the Wizard of the Coast stuff will definitely, I think, keep going up over time. It's a classic, so there's not going to be more of them printed. A base set Charizard is a base set Charizard. Most people that are collecting would love a copy of it, you know, whether it's damaged or mint or graded, you know, because it is an iconic card. So someone's always going to want that card. But right now, a lot of people are moving their focus to these new modern sets, especially the Japanese stuff. So that's my recommendation, honestly. I don't see many people talking about it. Maybe it's because people are doing it privately. Probably a lot of people are. But I'm seeing a lot of people focus on the negatives of this massive rise and how they can't afford to keep up with the hobby when the new Pokemon sets in English are at £90 a box. I'm sorry, but, you know, the retail price of Sword and Scarlet Violet boxes went up because you get a holo per pack, you get 2 reverse holos, and the boxes are £90 each. You know what I mean? You got the ETBs for Paldea Evolves. You can get them for like £35, and you get a Pikachu promo. You know, that's a really nice promo. That's like 7, 8 quid itself. Then you've got the, 8 packs, 9 packs? I can't remember how many you get. I think it's 9 packs now. But yeah, there's so much opportunities to be had, and I think have a think about it. You know, this is something that I post about on my Patreon, and I always do a hot take, an item that could be purchased. And the Charizard UPC is, honestly, I think if you've got the money to buy one, I would absolutely recommend at least buying one just to hold. They're not going to reprint it. You know, Sword and Shield will only keep going up. It's got 3 Charizards in it. Need I say more? Anyway, thanks all for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe as always. My Patreon is also going to link in the description below. If you want to check that out, I do weekly market updates. I will be doing exclusive videos and more content on there going forward. My website is also in the link description below. I've sold out of the pre-orders for Dusk Till Dawn. That set is going absolutely mental, but I will have a lot more stock going forward. Pokemon Magic the Gathering, Flesh and Blood, and many more. Thank you all.